Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz, and I want to talk to you about why I am such an advocate for Act marketing automation and sending email from Act. Now, a lot of times I have people say to me, I would never use that, I won't do anything with it. Setting that aside for just a moment, let me give you something to think about. When you send an email out to the contacts in your database, the first email that goes out, I always recommend to my clients, make it somewhat generic in nature. In other words, make it so it could go to anyone. And the reason I do that is this. That very first email you send out is going to give you information back. Let's say, for example, you send an email out to 1,000 people. Well, when you send that email out, you're going to get a lot of people whose emails bounce. In other words, you send an email to them, it bounces back to you. You're going to have people that open your email. You're going to have people that don't open the email. You're probably going to have some people that will opt out of your emails, but that's okay. That's part of the process. That's part about sending an email. But the thing that makes this first email so powerful is because it gives you information back into Act. And let me show you how you do that. Let's say, for example, you want to find emails that you sent or contacts that you've sent emails to where they have had a bounce. This is what you do. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on groups. And for those of you that don't know how to work with groups, they're an incredibly powerful way to organize your information. When you create a group, you can go up to Groups, New Group, and groups can be one of two ways. They can be manual or they can be dynamic. They can add information automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in here bounced. I'm going to come down to where it says Add Remove Contacts, and I'm going to click on that. When I get into this area, I'm going to click on Edit Criteria. At this point, I'm going to create a dynamic group. Now, some of you do this as lookups as a query. And if you do that query a lot on a regular basis, don't do it that way. Create a group to automatically capture that information. So the thing I really want to draw your attention to here is most of the queries are based on contacts. For example, if you wanted to create a group where everyone in that group had the first name of John, you could do that. If you want to do it a step further, where the first name was John and they had an email address, you could take all the contacts and put them in there. And for example, if I click on this drop down and I start typing in first for first name, I could come here, put in equal to, and I could say John. And in this database, and I'll just do this real quick so you can see it, I'm going to add this to the list. And this is my first criteria. When I create this first criteria, I can click on preview, and it will show me all the people in my database by the name of John. Sometimes you have to come down to the bottom and drag this down, but there are 2 people in my database whose first name is John. This is just a small sample database. Having stated that, as I add more people in my database named John, they will automatically get into this group, which can be highly effective. But I'm going to remove this criteria right here, and I'm going to show you where this gets really interesting from an Act marketing automation point of view. I'm going to click on this drop down right here, and I want you to observe there's an option here called Campaign Results. And I'm going to click on that. And the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, listen, I want to say bounced, and I want you to observe all these options here. So there's all kinds of options here that make this incredibly powerful. And you need to explore this. But I'm going to click on bounce. I'm going to click on the drop down, and I'm going to click on equal to, click on this drop down, true. And I'm going to add this to the list. So what this will do is it will look at the email campaign you sent out, not just the first one, but all subsequent emails. And if the contact's email address is bounced, that's going to be reported back inside of Act and put all of those people in this group automatically. So what that will allow you to do is go look at all the people whose email has bounced and review them to see the relevance of that contact. Let's say it was a really good customer and all of a sudden their email bounced. What does that mean? Does it mean that potentially maybe the customer or that contact at that company has left the company? Maybe they have a new email address. Or sometimes emails can bounce in these kind of setups And what that would tell you is, listen, I'm going to send them a quick email using my regular email programs such as Microsoft Outlook just to touch base. And if that one bounces back, then you know there's a good chance that person has left. So what this allows you to do is gather a lot of information. I'm going to click on preview. And when I click on preview, there's no results because this is just a sample database. But in my regular database, you would find it would list all kinds of contacts. And now I can go address those contacts. I can do this not only with the bounce, but under the campaign results. There are ways that I can find all the people that have opened or done clicks or done, when is the open date or the last click date. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. And that's one of the things that makes it so powerful. So you really want to explore this and really understand that when you send your first Act Marketing Automation email, it is going to give you a lot of valuable data. And that's a good thing. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of this tool for so many reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Holowitz. I just want to give you a little insight into that and why I try to get people to use this, because I think it's an incredibly valuable tool, whether you have 20 users of Act, 1 user, or 100 users, it doesn't matter. You're getting data into your Act database that you can then mine and use to your advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Thank you so very much. It's greatly appreciated for your time. Be well.